There are everyday words we use that indicate the probability of a certain event happening. If your teacher hasn't given your class a pop quiz in the last couple of weeks, then there is a high probability or chance that he or she will give you a quiz this week. On the other hand, if he or she has just given your class a quiz a couple of days ago, the likelihood of your teacher giving you another quiz is very low. There are also events that are impossible to occur, which will have a 0% probability of happening. For example, if you're standing on the edge of a cliff with a ball and you let the ball roll down, it will roll all the way down to the bottom of the hill. It won't stop halfway, it won't stop 3/4 of the way, it will roll until it reaches the bottom. But on the other hand, if you're at the bottom of a hill and you try to roll the ball up, you will never witness that the ball rolls all the way to the top of the hill. So the possibility of that happening is 0%. Now the question is, can you think of something that has 100% probability of happening? Probability of an event happening can be calculated by finding the maximum possible number of outcomes and then the number of desired outcomes. So for example, if we are rolling a dice and we want a 4, we first need to figure out what is the maximum possible number of outcomes. So if I'm rolling a dice, there are 6 sides to any dice, and that's my maximum possible outcome. Now my desired outcome is a 4. How many 4s do we have? 1. Therefore, it will be 1/6. If I'm rolling a dice and I want to land on an odd number, what is the probability of that happening? Now, what if we had a pair of dice instead of one dice? If we had a pair of dice and I wanted to find out that if I rolled the first dice and then I rolled the second one, what is the chance that on both of my rolls I would land on a 4? Now, if we're trying to find the probability of 2 different events happening one after another, we have to first calculate the individual events probability. In our case, we have 2 dice, so rolling the first dice represents the first individual event, rolling the second dice represents the second individual event. Now, if I want to roll a 4, I have 6 sides, and if I roll a 4, the possibility of me getting a 4 is 1/6. Now, on the second roll, the possibility is also 1/6. Now, in order to calculate what is the chance that I will roll a 4 and then another 4, what we need to do is we need to multiply the probabilities of both individual events. Therefore, if I want to find the probability of me rolling a 4 on both the first and the second possibility, I have to take 1/6 and multiply it with 1/6, which gives me 1/36. Now, what does that mean? That means if in the real world I had a pair of dice and I rolled these pairs of dice once, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I kept going and I did it 36 times, then there is a distinct possibility one time I would land a 4 and a 4. So the possibility of that is obviously very low. Now, what if I wanted to find out that if I had a pair of dice again, but instead of rolling 2 4s, I wanted to make sure that I wanted to land on odd numbers on both of my rolls? Well, that changes the math slightly. So in order to calculate the probability of landing on odd numbers on both of my roll, the probability of the first event and the probability of the second event need to be multiplied. So again, if I have a standard dice, in a standard dice, there are 3 odd numbers. It's 3, 5, and 1. Hence, the possibility of me landing on an odd number on my first roll is 3/6. Now, the possibility of me landing on an odd number on the second roll is also 3/6. If we multiply them, we get 4. Now, what is the implication of that in the real world out there? What that means that if I take a pair of dice and I roll it once, twice, 3 times, and 4 times, One of those times I should have landed on a pair of odd numbers. Now again, that's a possibility. There could have been the case that I rolled 4 times and on every roll I got a pair of odd numbers. And it's also possible that I could have rolled this 100 times and all 100 of those times I might not have landed on a pair of odd numbers. Remember, probability is not definite. It gives us an idea about how likely something is to happen.